which was in 1976. We arrived on January the 17th, and Prabhupada stopped at the front gate, and we had an inauguration ceremony there at that time to officially open the front gate. Yeah, that was the first big gateway of any mat in Mayapur. And Prabhupada got down, they had a big ribbon and a big pair of scissors, and Prabhupada cut the ribbon, and they opened the gates, and then we came through the main gate there, because we only had the Lotus building at that time. But as Prabhupada came down, then there were all the Gurukul boys dancing and singing all around him. There was just the beginnings of an international community just developing in Mayapur. And when Prabhupada gave his arrival talk, then he made a specific point about that Mayapur is for the international devotees to come and live together and demonstrate what he called the United Nations of the spiritual world. He said that what the United Nations have failed to do, we are doing here in Mayapur. So that is our challenge, that we have to make that work. We have to have a United Nations of the spiritual world in Mayapur, and that will resonate all over the planet. Mayapur is the heart of the Krishna consciousness movement. Whatever standards that we set here, everybody from all over the world will come here and see, and then they'll take that back with them. We've seen that already. Just like if, we have our Gaurpurnima festival, somebody begins to sing a certain tune, Harinam, then immediately you'll see all over the world within a couple of months that new tune has been traveling around. Everybody's adopted it because they learnt it here in Mayapur. People come here and they see Mayapur naturally as the place where there's the best standard of Krishna consciousness. So there's a special duty. It's not just that we're coming here to live peacefully, that we get. It's a privilege to live in the Dham. But there's also certain duties and responsibilities that are attached to being a resident of the Dham. And one of them is that we have to demonstrate how Krishna consciousness actually works in the best way possible. Because that will be the symbol, it will be the emblem for the rest of the society in the future. Prabhupada knew that. That was why when he was living in a bamboo thatched cottage just near the front gate there, he declared, this is the world headquarters of the Krishna consciousness movement. And at that time, it was a bamboo hut. And the people that were living in Los Angeles that had just acquired, this nice fabulous property, this church and everything, they were thinking that that was the center of the Krishna consciousness movement. And in those days, I remember when I joined at the beginning of '72, we did think that the Krishna consciousness movement was emanating from Los Angeles. That was the biggest community in the movement at that time. But now we see, actually, that Mayapur is the emblem of Krishna consciousness for the rest of ISKCON. And ISKCON, of course, is growing, and it will continue to grow in many countries, and within those countries in many cities, and outside of those cities in many villages. Lord Chaitanya done without cooperation. In 1976, there was, at one point, it appeared that there was going to be a big split in the ISKCON society between the greenmasters and the sannyasis. There was a big fight that was going on in America. It didn't get resolved. It came here to Mayapur. There was a big argument about the role that each had to play. And here in Mayapur, that was resolved ultimately by Srila Prabhupada. And after it was resolved, Prabhupada met with an all-brahmachari party and booked a distributors, the Radha Damodar Travelling Sankirtan Party. And it was their sannyasis and their buses that have been travelling all over America, and which have, in some senses, provoked this conflict between the greenmasters, who were mainly based in the temples, you know, and when Prabhupada met with the Radha Damodar Party, he told them that he said, actually this movement is not Kirtan, but it's Sankirtan. Kirtan means that you do it for yourself, or by yourself. But Sankirtan means that it is done collectively. So he said this is the Sankirtan movement, not a Kirtan movement, but the Sankirtan movement. And we have to realize that cooperation is the one underlying principle on which this movement develops and can be successful. And without cooperation, there'll be nothing. It will all simply disintegrate. So, above anything else, we have to aim for that principle of cooperation. So here in Mayapur, we've got a large brahmachari contingent. We have many sannyasis. We also now have an increasingly large number of grihastas. I think in the next few years, we'll probably start seeing an increase in the vanaprasthas. Some of us are getting up to that point now, where family life is complete. And we have to ashrams in operation in this one place in Mayapur. And all those ashrams have to cooperate together. They're not in conflict with each other, but they have to cooperate together. And as it's already been pointed out, there are many different nationalities, many different races, but we unite on that common platform of spiritual activity. We're all headed for the same goal, we have the same means, and we therefore require a cooperative spirit so that all of us, individually and collectively, can achieve the goals that have been set for us by our previous acharyas and Srila Prabhupada in particular.